بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعليه الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم وغاصبي حقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. In the continuation of the discussion of Hadith Miraj of the Prophet, in which Prophet is explaining, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is informing the Prophet in regards to the heritage of fasting. Heritage which really means the result or the essence of fasting. When Prophet went on Miraj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the Prophet, do you know what is the heritage of fasting? The Prophet said no. Allah said, it is eating less and speaking less. Eating less and speaking less will bring about hikmat, will bring about wisdom. When hikmat comes, that will bring about ma'rifat. When you will have the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will bring about yaqeen. When you will have the yaqeen, a person will be carefree because he has yaqeen, he has certainty in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he is the caretaker. And at the same time, if something negative happens to him, he is happy, he is pleased with, because he has yaqeen. That is good for him. Even if something bad happens, that is good for him. He has yaqeen because it comes from Allah. And al-khayru ma waqa, whatever khayr, and that takes place. Al-khayru ma waqa. Because it's from khayr mutlaq, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is khayr. Then after that, a person who have certainty, he will reach to a station of maradiyin, which means a station of those who are the pleased ones with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he reaches to the station of the pleased ones, Allah will provide him with three qualities. Number one, a quality of doing shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without any ignorance. The second quality Allah will provide him is the quality of doing zikr, remembrance of God, without any forgetfulness. The third quality Allah will provide him is love of Allah. A type of love that is overwhelmed, a type of love that no love could overpower. Only there will be the love of God in his heart. When he will have the love of God in his heart, which is the third quality of the pleased ones of Allah, those who are pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this will allow him, his heart, with a vision or an eyesight that will see things that no other being would see, such as the hadith is exactly the wording of the hadith would be, he would be able to see the azamat and the jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sovereignty and his glory. When he sees the sovereignty and glory, I will provide him with the knowledge of the makhluqeen, of the created being. The knowledge will be provided to him. I will not hide anything from him. He will know everything. Then after that, I will be his companion. When that happens, I will be his companion. And he will do najwa with me. He will speak to me. He would whisper me, and I will hear him. And he would hear me. And I will make the angels hear him. And it goes on a deeper level. And finally it says, I will show him. And I will give him the secret, of every little thing. And I will show him. This is where we stopped. And we put one hadith of the Prophet next to that. And this showing and this witnessing are on three different levels, we said. There's a witnessing, the shuhud of Tawheed, witnessing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that oneness of God, in the af'al, in the actions. Then there's shuhud asma wa sifat, where a person see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the asma, in the names of Allah and the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where he could see the qualities and the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is on a higher level. The third is the shuhud zat, where the person sees the essence of God, which is the highest, which is very unique and special. perhaps that valley or that realm is not for us. As the tradition says, these are for the awsiya, these are for the awliya, these are for the masumin, those who are sabiqun as-sabiqun, ulaika al-muqarrabun. This is like the elite, However, we could comprehend that, we could understand that there is such a reality exists, and it makes sense. Now, this whole hadith could be compared to that one hadith of the Prophet in the nutshell, where it says, "As-sawmu li wa ana ajziya bih." A sawm, fast, is for me and I am the reward. That means Allah is the reward Himself for fasting. Not that Allah will give the reward, no. But Allah is saying, "As-sawmu li," and I am the reward. So when a person fasts, a true fast, the reward for him is this. And that long hadith of Mi'raj, that the heritage of fasting is eating less and speaking less, that is also ending up with the stages that I will show myself to him. Right? And now this seeing, obviously, has these three different levels. Right? This witnessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have these three different. If you may have noticed, which I noticed it today on a greater level, today I was invited at the Wisdom Academy to give the awards for the children that they're studying there right now and gaining their knowledge, and mashallah, it's a very unique experience, a very different approach to the whole sciences that we find, and it is commendable. Now, over there, I was asked to give in the awards, right? And the child is so overwhelmed, is so attracted to that gift that he is getting. He doesn't even have the eye contact with the person that he is getting, because all his focus is that what he is getting, right? That award. Perhaps the same for us as well in many times, right? It is that reward which is of focus. It really depends on the intelligence of the child. Like one or two, they made that eye contact, right? That who he's getting that from. Not that I'm trying to say that I'm of self-value or Maulana is giving. No. But I'm trying to look at the understanding of this hadith, that as-sawmu li and Allah is the reward. If we have the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we'll appreciate. Then we'll appreciate the fast. But if we don't have the ma'rifat of Allah, if we do not understand and comprehend God, then our tawajjuh will be only what we are getting. As they say, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala, that a person, when he's breaking fast, there are two rewards for him. One is that he's breaking fast. He wasn't eating anything and drinking. He has something to eat. And the other is the pleasure of God. That is also another reward. The breaking fast itself. So our focus should be the second rather than just the first. Although that is also true and correct. And it's natural. We are all insan. We are all human beings. When that hour of breaking fast comes, we become happy. That's fine. That's well and good. Sayyid Ibn Ta'us, as he is explaining the different categories of worshippers, al-ubbadu salath, there are three types of worshippers. Number one is the one who worship for the pleasure of Allah. Number one is the one who worship for the achieving the Jannah, one who worship out of fear, and the one who worship out of love, right? And the one who worships out of, for the gaining the Jannah, that's the worship of those who are tujjar, businessmen. The second is the worship of the slaves, because they are afraid and they are worshipping God. The third, they are worshipping out of love, that is the worship of free men, those who are free. So Ibn Taus only regards that third to be the true worship. The first two as not as such. That is not, because our hadaf is not God there, but our hadaf is Jannah. Our hadaf is to protect ourselves. As they say that if you pray the 2 rakat prayer of the awwalema, 30 times in Nanzallah and 30 times Qul Wallah that you recite in the first of the month. There's a prayer that one should recite the first of the month. That prayer will protect you from all of the balayat, calamities of the month. Now, if I am worshipping with the intention that I be protected from the balayat, is it really qurbatan ilallah? Or is it really that I be protected from the balayat, from the calamities? What is it? Am I really worshipping that I come closer to God? Or am I worshipping in order that I be protected? So there's a bit of, shirk kinda. That's why Surah Yusuf, it says that, certainly the mu'mineen, are mushrik. They are mu'mineen, but they are mushrik as well at the same time. Ayah number 1, 2, 3, Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Aksarahum, it says, Aksarahum billah, wahum mushrikun or something, it says. If you recite, help me with the salawat ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ. There isn't any mu'min, majority of them on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, illa except that they are mushrik. They are mu'min, majority of them, they are mu'min, but aksaruhum, billah, illa wahum mushrikun. They are also mushrik at the same time. As you know, the definition of shirk, where the Prophet explains that it is like a dark night on a dark rock and a black ant, and when it walks, do you really feel or do you really see? It's very difficult to see that. In a dark night, pitch dark, it's a rock which is dark, and a black ant kind of like, moving on it. And can an eye really depict that? Can it really catch that? That is like shirk. The shirk there is shirk of that level as well. Right? So the eye also says that, majority of the mu'mineen, they are mushrik as well. Like for example, when we ask someone for help, that is kind of like shirk. We should really ask Allah from help. When we thank someone, it is really Allah that we are supposed to thank. Unless or until a person is that intelligent, he has reached to this level, in his existence, or at least he has this understanding that lam yashkuril makhluq yashkuril khaliq. If I don't thank the makhluq, it is as if I'm not really thanking the khaliq. I have to thank the makhluq, but when I'm thanking him, I should keep in mind that the true thanks is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the wasila, he is the zariya. So I'm thanking him, but keeping in mind Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the same time. But this doesn't mean that I should thank him in an arrogant way. Oh, it is really him. I just have to thank him. No. It has to be true with sincerity. If there is sincerity here, there will be sincerity there as well. If I'm not sincerely thanking the makhluk who have given me a favor without any sincerity, it's just on my lips, I'm just providing that lip service, then there will be no sincerity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. The same amount of sincerity that I have when I'm giving thanks to Allah, the same amount of sincerity I should have when I'm giving thanks to the makhluk. It's not that, okay, it is really Allah, so just thank him. No. It means the same amount of khulus. The way I will thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I should thank the makhluk in the same amount. Izzatu lillah wa li rasulihi wa lil mu'mineen. The izzah and the honor is for Allah, and the honor is for Rasul, alaykum salam wa rahmatullah, and the honor is for the mu'mineen. Oh, honor is for Allah. Why am I supposed to honor the mu'mineen? Oh, okay, because I'll just honor them. No. The same way I izzat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have to honor the mu'mineen at the same time. It is vertical, it's not horizontal. Because izzat is one reality. That one reality which is izzat is vertical. As a hierarchy, you have Allah, you have Rasul and mu'mineen. So if I honor the mu'mineen, I'm really honoring the Rasul. If I honor the Rasul, I'm really honoring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So that's why, that's how we are supposed to treat with each other, with honor, with izzat. I'll just mention quickly a thing in the margin so that we understand the different level of shuhud as well, right? When we are saying that there is no fail but the fail of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we are saying that these fail, they all return back to the asma wa sifat ilahi, right? When we are saying that there is only fail of Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, then every act and every action, we are connecting this act and action to Allah, right? So if there is izzatulillah wa li rasul wa lil mu'minin, if mu'minin honor each other and they have that izzat, that honor of each other on the basis because it belongs to God. So even the fail and the dealing of the mu'minin is that I'm really honoring God. I'm really honoring that tawheed af'ali here. I'm really honoring that tawheed asma wa sifat. So if I'm seeing a good act from a mu'min, that act is tawheed af'ali, that action is the action of God. And this action is really returning back to that goodness that the person have, right? And then I'm honoring that as well. I'm witnessing tawheed asma there as well. The whole problem and the ikhtilafat is resolved. If I honor you, I'm honoring you on that basis. And you are honoring me on that basis. Where lies the ikhtilaf? If there be any difference of opinion comes, if I am approaching my dealing with the mu'mineen is like that, on the basis of that, on vertical reality, not on horizontal reality, right? Then there remains no ikhtilaf. And you do the same to me, right? If both mu'mineen behave in that fashion, that is a utopia. We have a utopia here. We have really reached that Madinah Fazila, which the Imam wants it, which the Prophet wants it, right? Things are resolved. So now going back onto Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So that risk, that izzat, that belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have to respect and maintain that, right? So that mu'mineen, a majority of them are mu'mineen, wa aksarahum, billah, but at the same time they are mushrik as well. They don't have that complete, tawheed khalis. They will only rely on God and no one else. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was asked to get some flour by his wife. So he goes to Misr, to his friend, to get some flour, to borrow, as a kharz, to get something. So he goes there and he was not there. Why Hazrat Ibrahim was known as the champion of Tawheed. Hazrat Ibrahim is known as the champion of Tawheed. In Tawheed he was a champion. So he goes to his friend's house and he couldn't find him, and he got a bit, distressed. He got a bit disappointed and upset that now what will happen? My wife have asked me to bring flour, to cook food. There's no food in the house. And as we know that Hazrat Ibrahim was someone who would not have a supper without a friend, without a mehman. He would always eat, with someone who, he would eat with guests all the time. He would stand on the highway and wait for the guests to come by, and he will call them and he will sit with them and eat with them. And he will not eat without a guest. And then what he will ask as a return is to do sajda, and he will pray for them. Anyway. And here, Hazrat Ibrahim couldn't find the friend. He was going back home. Now he said, what shall I do now? How I will face my wife, what I will speak, because she really wanted this and there's nothing at home. So while going back, he just took some sand, just to kind of, and then he take it home to calm her wife down or something that, maybe now it's here. So he just took it, and without speaking or anything, the bag of sand is just left there, and then as he was so sad, he went to sleep. He went in his chamber and he went to sleep. And the wife wakes him up. I said, come, the food is ready. He said, what do you mean? He said, you went to your friend and you brought the flour and I cooked that. And then Hazrat Ibrahim said, yes, I went to my friend, but I did not find my friend, but my true friend provided me the flour. So Hazrat Ibrahim would always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that, even when he's been about to toss in that fire. Jibreel came while he was being tossed, while he was being put in that fire which Namrud made. Jibreel came. Hazrat Ibrahim saw Jibreel because Hazrat Ibrahim had that shuhud, that sight, that he could see everything. Because the Quran says that we have shown the heaven and earth to Ibrahim. Sanurihu ayat. We have shown these whatever is in the heaven and earth to Ibrahim. When Hazrat Ibrahim saw the reality, the haqaiq of the heaven and earth, he saw the maqam-e-imamat. When he saw the maqam-e-imamat, he asked that I want this in my zurriyat. Then Allah says, Surah Baqarah, ayah number 123, it will not be for those who are zalimeen. So the maqam of imamat, the station of wilayat, the haqiqat of imamat was shown to Hazrat Ibrahim. Because as we are saying that this all physical reality, annihilates in that malakuti realm, because this is mulk. This mulk will annihilate in that malakuti realm, and this malakuti realm will annihilate in the asma wa sifat, in the jabaruti realm. So Hazrat Ibrahim was shown the reality of things. When he sees this malakuti realm, he doesn't see this as a mountain or as a tree, but rather he sees it at wa yusabbihu bihamdi. He would see as yusabbihu lillahi ma fis samawati wal ars. He could hear that. Everything is doing tasbih. He could hear, he could see that. So when he saw the maqam-e-imamat as the most highest and the lofty station, and every father wants the best for his children. He said, oh, I want this for my children, he asked. Then Allah said, okay, that is why they could be anbiya. They could be rasul, but they might not be given the maqam-e-vilayat. Maqam-e-vilayat, imamat is for elite. It's for special, beings. It is for them. And Hazrat Ibrahim saw that and he asked for it, right? So Hazrat Ibrahim used to see the reality of things. And Jibreel came, that, can I do anything? That archangel came and he is in the mid-air. He's in the mid-air and there's a communication going on between Ibrahim and archangel Gabriel. Gabriel says, I can help you out here. I said, from you? No. I want help from Allah. Direct. That's Tawheed Khalis. There's no shirk. It's like direct. That's why he's known as champion of Tawheed. And then that help came, and that fire changed into a garden. For the ma'shuq, for the ashiq, the ma'shuq, for the lover, the beloved even takes away the khasiyat. Even makes that inqilab in that reality. Although the fire and the essential reality of fire, perhaps one might think it is to burn, but that is taken away as well for the beloved. That Allah does that. Allah took that khasiyat of the fire which really burns, that the effect of the fire should not be there. The cause is there, the illat is there, but the effect is no longer there, right? However, is it now? It becomes a bit of falsafa here. Is it really? Is the fire? Is it really the effect of burning? Is it really the effect of fire or not? That is a discussion in itself. That's a true reality, that a person who is put in fire, he should be burnt or not. Is that essential or not? This is discussed in falsafa to really have a sound answer for what really happened to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As he was the champion of Tawheed, and he would like everyone to be believers. And that's why he would say, do sajda in return if I feed you. And when the ayah says that we showed Ibrahim about the reality of everything, and he could see what's happening in the east and what's happening in the west, what the MOMIN are doing, right? And when he would see those who are idol worshippers, he would raise his hands and he would say, Allah destroy them. Because he doesn't like anybody to be an idol worshipper on this earth. He wants everybody to be believer. Then finally, Allah speaks to Hazrat Ibrahim, "O Ibrahim, we showed you the reality of the heaven and earth. We give you this power, not that you curse left and right and people die. I am Rahman and Rahim. I am the caretaker of it. I am providing them that freedom to really not worship me, but at the same time I provide them." This just points out to that Rahmaniyat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How merciful God is. He gives chances over and over again. This is a month of mercy. He has invited us. We are here. We just need to connect to God. We just need to speak to Him. We just need to create that relationship with Him and maintain that relationship with Him all year long. So that when the next month of Ramadan come, the relationship have matured and the relationship is very different. That is why some of the awliya, they make sure that they recite Surah Qadr in every wajib prayer so that it connects to the next Qadr that is supposed to come. That is why it is recommended to recite Surah Qadr after in the taqibat of our daily prayers of Asr. That you recite 10 times Surah Qadr. So that you make your Zuhr taqibat of Asr, so that you make your Asr the night of Qadr by reciting Surah Qadr. So that you get the blessing of that night of Qadr. So that the night of Qadr blessing extends on every Salat Asr of ours. So Allah is the most merciful that one could ever imagine. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inquires Musa, that Musa, what was Fir'aun doing when he was drowning? He was asking for help. And then Allah says that if you have asked me for help for once, I would have saved him. It just required that he would have asked. Because Musa, you did not create Pharaoh. I created Pharaoh. Right? Allah knows, and the value of insan, of a human being. That is why he's known as Ashraful Makhluqat. Right? And look how lenient and how much Allah is trying to really save Pharaoh. Look at the arguments in the Quran. Oh Musa, when you go, you speak to them leniently. These are 9 miracles to Pharaoh so that at least he accept the Wahdaniyat. So that at least he accept, he becomes a believer. Right? Continuously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tried to really save Pharaoh. And those who are the awliya and true representatives of Rahman, as we address them in Ziyarat al-Jami'ah, wa umana ur-Rahman. They are the minarets of mercy. They behave in the exactly same fashion. Imam Hussain alayhi salam. All of the Imams, how they treated their enemies, so that they be guided, so that they be saved. To the extent, as I have repeated this before as well, I'll repeat it again, where Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is asking Shimr to spare his life. Where Imam Hussein, when he says that life have no meaning, O Ali Akbar after you. My back is broken, O brother after you. When Imam Hussein recited Inna Lillah wa Inna Ilayhi Rajoon after that 3-headed arrow which targeted his chest by Hurmula, which was dipped in poison. Imam Hussein would have died if Shimr would have left him for a couple of hours by himself. Nothing to do. But Imam Hussein is begging, "Oh Shimr, spare my life, do not kill me. Oh Shimr, if you have decided to kill me, at least give me some water before you kill me." Does a father really wants to have water after seeing his son being slain that way in his arms? Ali Asghar. You and I will not look at the face of water. This is Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. But why is he begging for life? Why is he really asking for water? So that the azab of Shimr lessens. So that Shimr doesn't go to Jahannam because of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, because of the act that he is committing. Perhaps when he gives water, maybe some sort of mercy might come in his heart and he might spare Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Perhaps if he gives water and even slaughter the intensity of azab on shimr lessens. The same way as Allah says, oh Musa, if Fir'aun would have asked me once, even after doing all of that, errors in his life, he's a tyrant, how he killed those magicians, the way he killed them, even after all that, Allah is saying, I would have saved him if he just asked me once, right? If we take one step towards Allah, Allah will take 10 steps towards us. That's what is required of us. And the month of Ramadan is an opportunity. The daily prayers is an opportunity. The daily call that we have. The supplication and du'as are the opportunity. Is there any other work that is more valuable than connecting to the Beloved, than speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He is the provider of everything. All other things have no meaning, no reality, but that connection, but that tawheed. And while understanding that, keeping that in mind, He has given us, most of our time is gone to really accumulate the dunya rather than the akhirah, right? And even after that, for little acts, He has placed so much of reward so that we do not suffer in the hereafter. Because He knows that what sort of wujud and existence He is, and how that abd, and how difficult it will be for him to really meet Him. Ya ayyuhan nas innaka qadi'un ila rabbika qadhan famulaqi. Because it's a process and it's a journey, and it is for us to really get prepared and get ready for that mulaqat, to really see God. So as we start seeing Him here, then we will be able to see Him on a higher level. That is why the Prophet used to ask and pray, Oh Allah, increase in my astonishment, in my hayra. Because Allah is astonishing, Allah is mystery. And it's just keep on increasing it. Keep on increasing it. Keep on unveiling Himself. There is no limit of His wujud, of His existence. And we will be provided with that. Just like as a child, that fitrat have that in him to accept God. In his fitrah, he has that. Or in his fitrat, he has that ability of fear, of being afraid. Now, this he develops it gradually. And he protects himself from all of those things that will make him afraid. How he developed it, how he developed the understanding of God gradually, as it was already in him that he's born on the fitrat of God, born on the fitrat of deen, that he accepts God, but he gradually develops it. So the same way as he's gradually developing, he keeps on developing it, even in barzakh, even in the day of Qiyamah, even after that as well. So now the Tawheed Asma wa Sifat, as we were saying, as we said that, we have to connect this mulk to that malakuti realm in where the angels dwell. And there was a question asked which I will attend, and I would like others to benefit from this question as well, that we spoke about the death and how it is and how the Tawheed is reflected there. When a person in this mulk is dying, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says that only the kashf, there's only unveiling of Israel. Israel is right here at this very present time. Israel is right here at this very present time. The malaika and the angels who are responsible to take our soul, they are right here, but we are not seeing them. They cannot be anywhere else because everything is connected. The mulk is connected with malakut, the malakut is connected with the jabarut. The same way as Israel is right here, the asma mumit is right here as well, because Allah is the one who gives death. Although it's been carried out by falmudabbirat amra, although it's carried out by the angels, but so when we are saying وَهُوَ مَاكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is where you exactly are, and the other riwayat and traditions, you're not the third, the fourth is God, you're not the fifth, the sixth is God, right? So Allah is right here, as Allah is right here, and all of His battalion, all of His entourage, all of His army of Israfi, of the one who provides rizq, and the one who takes life, Israel, they are all right here, but we are not seeing it. So death, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam in one of the du'as says that death is nothing but unveiling of that reality of who Israel is. So when I see Israel, I die. Because my body doesn't have the capacity to really see that huge wujud. Like a strong sort of thunder strikes. If my heart is weak, I will die because of the effect of that sound. Right? So if I see Israel, I will die. So seeing death is nothing but seeing Israel, is witnessing, is mukashafa. And now the question was this, that how about the Masumin alayhimus salam? They are higher than angels, aren't they? Right? The Quran talks about taking life on 3 different planes. One is where the Quran says that they are angels who are responsible, not Israel. Not just one angel, but angels. They will come and they will take the soul. Number 2, only one malak is mentioned. Only one angel comes to take the soul, meaning that only one mukashafa takes place, who is very powerful, which is more powerful than 2-3 angels coming, right? That malak Israel who comes to take the soul. Now, the third one is Allahu yatawaffa. Allah is the one who takes the soul. And the word Allah is not used. Not Rahman, not Rahim, not Mumit, but Allah is the one who takes the soul with all of the 99 names within him, right? So in the courtyard of Ibn Ziyad kind of made fun of the 4th Imam by saying that how we killed, how we defeated, how we sort of, killed your father and we were victorious. Then Imam replied, Allahu yatawaffa. So it was Allah who came to take the soul of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. It was required by Allah to descend from the arsh to take the soul of Abu Abdullah. It was not an angel like Israel. Like the question was that how come, that mukashafa, right? That it's unveiling. So my body doesn't have the capacity to see Israel. So Israel is just a malak compared to Imam Ma'asum, where all the malak are under his wing, under his command. Even Israel is under his command, right? Wasn't that the carpet which had a lion and Imam Mirza alayhi salam just did an ishara and then he came and he ate that magician, right? So all of the malaika are under the command of Imam Ma'asum because he is Insan Kamil, because he is a true Khalifatullah. He is a representative of God on earth for all being. Everything is through him. Even the sustenance and the ilm that the angels are getting is through Insan Kamil, is through Masumin. When 6th Imam was doing tawaf, a person comes and asks him something. The 6th Imam says that, wait, let me finish, meet me after tawaf. He was reciting salat behind Maqam Ibrahim. The young lad comes and have an exchange, a conversation. They speak to each other, discuss, and he leaves. Imam Sadiq, the 6th Imam, was with the 5th Imam. The 6th Imam asked him, who was that? The 5th Imam says, this was Jibreel, who came to ask me certain things, to gain his knowledge. So even the knowledge that we gain, even the malaike, they gain their knowledge through that Insan Kamil. He is the true reflection, manifestation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah is Alim, He is Alim first, and all of the malaika are Alim afterwards, and the Insan are Alim afterwards. Is that vertical? No. That is why whenever a soul departs this dunya, every soul will see Amirul Mominin. It depends whether they recognize Amirul Mominin or not. The presence of Ali ibn Abi Talib is there for every soul that departs this dunya, regardless of that person be a Muslim or a non-Muslim. If he is a mu'min and a Muslim, he recognizes it and he yearns towards Amirul Mominin. That is why we pray that, oh Allah, make the last hours of our life the best. Give us the basharat. Give us the glad tidings. When we are yearning to go to Najaf here, if somebody says, outside, here's your ticket, go to Najaf, we will not think for a second. We will be in Najaf. So when Hazrat Amir, he himself comes to take us, can we not leave this body? We would run towards Hazrat Amir. Right? So, the Malaika, the Malak, that angel, which is, it makes sense that how the body might not have that capacity, and it might leave, the soul might leave the body, because we are witnessing Israel, right? But for the Masumin, it is Allahu yatawaffa. As the ayah of the Quran says, Allah is the one who takes the soul. So with all His jalal and azamat, that Allah is the one who transfers the soul of a Masum to that realm. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So now the Tawheed, on that mulk, that reflection. So Israel is right here. It's just we have to witness that. A person dies, that is the fail of dying is a fail. So a person, when he sees that becomes something very beautiful. That death becomes, because it's an action of God. Maraitu Jamila takes place, and on many different levels as well, not only on this level. Then you have the name of Malakul Maut, Israel, in that angelic realm. If we extend that further, in that Jabarut, that is nothing but the Asma, nothing but the name of Mumit, that Allah is that one. So on that level, on that realm of Asma, He is Mumit. That reflects and that becomes Israel. That Israel reflects and becomes Maut. But it is one reality. There is nothing existing but that one divine reality. It is for us to really, come to terms with that and expand our wujud and our heart to really comprehend and to take more and more of this reality within us. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That is why you would find لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. The quality that is given, Rauf is a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rahim is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is introducing Rasul as لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Rasul came amongst yourself, and بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ, to the mu'mineen, He is Rauf and Rahim. Rauf and Rahim is the name of Allah. That name is manifested or reflected in Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So He is become Rauf and Rahim. Although He is in this mulk, He is in this multiple realm, He is in this physicality. But who is He? What the Quran is saying, He is Raufur Rahim. Who is Raufur Rahim? On that Jabaruti realm, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is Raufur Rahim. But on this mulki plane also, that physical body and reality of the Prophet is what? He is Raufur Rahim. Innama waliyukumullah wa rasuleh. Certainly the wali of Allah and the Rasul is the one who does ruku and give zakat in ruku. Who is that? Amirul Mu'mineen. What is wali? Wali is the name of God. Wali is the name of God. And who is, what the Quran is introducing this wali as? It is no one but Amirul Mu'mineen. He is the wali, right? So He is the wali, which is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this mulki plane. Obviously on wali, even in the malakuti realm, they are the one who will take us from zulumat to nur, right? Even on that Jabaruti realm, where they are the one who will do the shafa'at, right? But as in reality, it is nothing but the reflection of the divine itself in these different forms, in these different sort of, physical realities that is there. That is why, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, that nahnu asma'ullah. We are the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Ahl Bayt alayhi salam are the names of God. In the nights of Amirul Mu'mineen, we have discussed all of these different names, right? The Ahl Bayt are the names. And that is why we tend to recite in one of the du'as which I mentioned earlier. It is the dua which begins with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which comes from the one of the fourth representatives of the 12th Imam. That Imam used to recite this dua which begins with Bismillah ar-Rahman in Rajab, that La farqa baynaka wa baynaha illa ibadaka wa khalqaka. There isn't any difference between them and Allah except that they are the creatures and they are the worshippers. They are the abd. They are the khilqat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Ahl Bayt, and they are the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La farqa baynaka wa baynaha. They are on that level. And this is in one of the hadiths, that this is a true understanding with Nuraniyat. Hazrat Amir says, those who recognize Ahle Bayt alayhimus salam with the Nuraniyat, they have understood what Deen Khalis is. Those who do not understand the Nuraniyat of Ahle Bayt alayhimus salam, they haven't really understood what Deen Khalis is. What is the true Deen? So Ahle Bayt alayhimus salam are that khilqat Nurani that one have to really recognize to understand Deen. That is why we say, Allahumma arifni nafsak, nabiyak, hujjatak, dallaltu an dini. I will be astray, I will be doomed in my deen if I don't really know the hujjat. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alayhi ta'ala.
नहीं बोला तो नहीं है मैंने अभी तक यहाँ पे हम यहीं से अज़ान देते हैं टाइम हो गया ऑलरेडी टाइम हो गया टाइम ठीक यहीं से देते हैं मैं जब तक पढ़ा शुरू
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر